headlines for this hour on VTV News. National Conference discusses implementations of party resolution. And government unveils plans for National Green Venture Capital Fund. And in world news, China top leader Xi Jinping visit Malaysia.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 3 p.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. The Party Central Committee, Politburo, and Secretariat convened a national conference in Hanoi on Wednesday to discuss implementing the resolutions adopted at the recently concluded 11th plenum of the 13-party Central Committee. Top leaders from the party, state government, and National Assembly attended the event.
The hybrid event connected more than 21,000 locations across the nation, including municipal and provincial party committees, ministries, agencies, and local units at district and commune levels. In his keynote address, Party General Secretary To Lam emphasized that the recent 11th plenum marked a historic milestone, setting breakthrough decisions for the revolution's next phase.
We must establish the highest level of political will in leading and directing the implementation of the resolution of the 11th plenum. This must be viewed as a true revolution, streamlining administrative units and advancing reform and innovation for the development of the country.
On issues that require special attention, the party chief emphasized the importance of reorganizing administrative units and building a streamlined two-tier local administration. He acknowledged that this policy would inevitably impact the sentiments and emotional ties of cadres, party members, and the people, a natural response, given that every Vietnamese person carries deep memories of their hometown, the place of their birth and upbringing. Also discussed were tasks for the upcoming party congresses at all levels and the 14th National Party Congress. The party chief stressed that it is essential to provide strong and focused leadership to ensure that the organization of these congresses is carried out with rigor and discipline, in full accordance with Directive 45 of the Politburo.
I would like to highlight the need to place greater emphasis on the preparation of documents. In some localities, there are signs of neglect, with too much focus placed solely on personnel arrangements. Provincial and municipal party committees must lead and facilitate thoughtful, in-depth, and effective discussions on the viewpoints, goals, policies, and strategic directions outlined in the draft documents of the 14th National Party Congress.
Looking ahead, the party chief acknowledged the demanding and urgent tasks ahead. He called on all members to maintain unwavering determination in achieving the goals set forth in the resolution of the 11th plenum, thereby establishing a strong foundation for the 14th National Party Congress.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính met with Laos Prime Minister Sonexay Siphandone on Wednesday morning, extending Bun Phie greetings and commending his role at the P4G summit. Both leaders reaffirmed the strong Vietnam-Laos partnership and agreed to implement high-level agreements, including outcomes from the Politburo meeting and the 47th Intergovernmental Committee sessions. The leaders set a bilateral trade target of $5 billion, focusing on boosting trade, investment, and connectivity, and particularly in infrastructure and tourism. Prime Minister Siphandone also welcomed Vietnam's timely response to U.S. reciprocal tariffs, which included a phone call between Party General Secretary To Lam and U.S. President Donald Trump. Upon receiving Laos Prime Minister Sonexay Siphandone, National Assembly's Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn expressed deep condolences to the Laos Party, National Assembly, government, and people, especially to Prime Minister Siphandone and his family over the passings of former President Kham Thầy Siphandone, a profound loss for both Laos and bilateral relations. The National Assembly chairman reaffirmed the great friendship, special solidarity and comprehensive cooperation between Vietnam and Laos, highlighting the continued strengthening of political trust between the two countries. He emphasized that both sides will work closely to enhance institutions and policies, creating a favorable legal framework for their government to effectively implement high-level agreements, investment cooperation projects, and other mutually agreed initiatives. The P4G Summit opened this afternoon with the Policy Dialogue Forum focused on encouraging investment and promoting innovative startups in the fields of green transformation and sustainable development. The forum discussed various solutions to create a more favorable business environment in this sector. A representative of the Ministry of Science and Technologies announced the government's proposal to establish a national venture capital fund, which would provide incentive for green growth startups. Through this initiative, the government plans to work with the private sector to support these startups. Additionally, a dedicated capital trading platform will be created to connect startups and provide them with formal channels for capital mobilization. Green transformation is not just a trend, it's an inevitable part and strategic choice embraced by many countries. In Vietnam, industrial production stands as the largest source of greenhouse emissions, contributing significantly to global warming. Some gases released during production can persist in the atmosphere for up to 3,200 years. While transitioning to greener productions cannot happen overnight, the solution lies in greening each stage of the process step by step.
Without intervention, exhaust smoke from this system reaches temperatures of 400 to 600 degrees Celsius. In the past 6 months, however, a heat recovery system has reduced these exhaust temperatures to about 1/3 of their original levels.
After implementing this solution, chimney temperatures dropped to 150 to 160 degrees Celsius. The annual gas reduction is equivalent to approximately 1,700 tons of CO2.
This factory faces a 3-year payback period for the system, though this is considered a relatively quick return. However, implementing a long-term strategy for green transformation presents numerous challenges.
Green development and transformation come with a range of challenges, from technology to financial, along with risks and the need to ensure project effectiveness, especially in state-owned enterprises.
This is why a successful green transition requires bold, short-term, and detailed solutions. Even if production costs rise, some changes, such as reducing plastic by up to 80%, are still the preferred choice.
We're converting plastic cups and bowls to paper alternatives. This reduces plastic use in production and limits plastic waste, which aligns with consumer expectations.
A rooftop solar system installed at the company's main office and factory generates around 900,000 kilowatt-hours annually. This is enough electricity to produce 3.6 million packages of noodles.
For us, sustainability is not just a vision, it's a commitment. From the smallest actions, we strive to create lasting value and happiness. Together with the community, we're building a greener earth for future generations.
Green transformation is no longer experimental, it's now an inevitable and responsible path forward. It demonstrates manufacturers' genuine commitment to sustainable development and their communities.
After the United States temporarily postponed reciprocal tariff for 90 days, shrimp exporting enterprises breathed a sign of relief. However, this reprieve is not a guarantee of safety, but rather an opportunity to restructure strategies and prepare for unpredictable scenarios ahead. Vietnamese shrimp enterprises can increase their market share by producing value-added products and ensuring compliance with origin standards, according to experts. Despite the tax increase, U.S. demand for shrimp products remains stable. The industry now faces several key requirements: strengthen origin controls and coordinate closely with U.S. agencies to prevent trade fraud, review all input costs to reduce products' prices, diversify export markets through FTAs to reduce dependence on the U.S. market, and expand presence in Europe, Japan, South Korea, and the Middle East. And shrimp farmers in the Mekong Delta face unexpected challenges. Market pressures, rising input costs, and plummeting selling prices have pushed many farms into severe financial difficulties. In response, local authorities and businesses are actively exploring diverse market and funding solutions to maintain a stable supply of raw material for processing and export.
Temporarily halting production. Rushing to harvest. This is a common scene across many shrimp farming areas in the Mekong Delta provinces, where prices have been on a constant downward trend.
Prices of large-sized shrimp have dropped by $1 to $1 and 50 cents per kilogram. Farmers without experience are at high risk of heavy losses.
The widespread suspension and abandonment of shrimp farming threatens to disrupt regional processing and export activities. In response, local authorities have implemented various support measures.
We have requested banks to offer expanded lending at the lowest possible interest rates to ensure uninterrupted farming, harvesting, and export processing.
Farmers shouldn't rush to harvest, it's risky. We're working to open up new markets. Our factories have secured more new orders and will soon ramp up purchasing again.
Shrimp remains the seafood industry's leading export product, generating over $4 billion annually. The key to sustainable development lies in stronger linkages and more concentrated production. These approaches would reduce costs, improve quality, and ensure better production control.
A good news for farmers, chili is now among 4 agriculture products newly approved for official export to China, alongside passion fruit, bird nest, and rice bran. The protocols for animals and plant quarantine regarding these exports were signed during General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping state visit to Vietnam over the past 2 days. China is also actively processing licensing procedures for additional Vietnamese agriculture products, such as citrus fruit and plant-based oriental medicinal herbs. Meanwhile, Vietnam will expedite sturgeon imports from China. In recent years, China has remained Vietnam's largest agriculture export market, with 14 types of Vietnamese agriculture products currently approved for official export to this market. Following the U.S. decision to temporarily delay reciprocal tariff, the export order situation in Vietnam has shown signs of stabilization. In particular, most textiles and footwear orders have resumed, including those with delivery schedules extending beyond the postponement period of the proposed tariff policies.
The U.S. tariff announcement caused its businesses to delay orders for Vietnamese textiles and footwear. In contrast, European partners have committed to increased order volumes. Newly signed contracts extending through September 2025 now include clauses for joint risk sharing should tariffs rise in the future.
Orders have continued to arrive and be signed throughout the year, keeping production lines running at our company.
The textile sector has seen a recovery in both the resumption of paused orders and the addition of new ones. Forecasts suggest stable output for the first half of the year, with gradual increases expected toward the end of 2025.
We have received orders scheduled for the next 3 months. American buyers, anticipating demand for peak retail seasons, have requested urgent orders and increased volumes.
Currently, 50% of Vietnam's textile exports and 40% of footwear exports are destined for the U.S. This export power, coupled with tariff adjustments, has made it challenging for importers to switch to other partners.
The most important question is, can Vietnam remain competitive against leading textile exporting nations in the U.S. market? Even under current tariff uncertainties, the industry still aims to maintain its annual growth rate of 8 to 10% throughout the 2025 to 2030 period.
In addition to long-standing partners such as Japan, South Korea, China, and the EU, Vietnamese exporters are being encouraged to explore emerging markets in Latin America and Africa to mitigate risks. The Vietnamese government, meanwhile, continues to actively engage in trade negotiations with the U.S.
And before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at foreign exchange rate for today, April 16th. Coming up next on VTV News, Vietnam-China accelerate Red River border bridge construction. And sacred Buddha bathing ritual in Vietnam-Laos. Construction has officially begun on a road bridge across the Red River at the border of Bát Sát, Lào Cai province of Vietnam and Ba Sa, Yunnan province of China. This project showcases the close cooperation, long-standing friendship, and shared commitment to sustainable economic development and trade between Vietnam and China.
The Vietnamese section of the bridge spans 40 meters and features pre-stressed reinforced concrete construction on fixed scaffolding. A 232.5-meter access road connects to the bridge. While the total project cost is $58 million, the Vietnamese portion of the bridge accounts for $11.6 million.
At present, we have mobilized all available resources, including highly advanced machinery, along with skilled engineers and workers, to speed up construction and ensure the project's progress.
To speed up progress and ensure safety, both sides have set up a joint working group to monitor the construction process. If any issues arise, they will work together to find solutions quickly.
The construction of the Red River Road Bridge not only helps strengthen transportation links between the two countries but also highlights the role of Lao Cai and Yunnan provinces as key gateways along the Kunming-Lao Cai-Hanoi-Hai Phong Quang Ninh economic corridor. The project is expected to be completed within 18 months.
This is an important project that helps transform the border area into a hub of trade between Vietnam, ASEAN countries, and China's Yunnan province.
Completing the Red River Road Bridge will open up many opportunities for economic cooperation and investment, thereby improving people's lives. The project stands as a clear demonstration of the commitment by Vietnam and China to develop border transportation infrastructure, a key step toward achieving sustainable development, peace, and prosperity in the region.
Passenger Terminal T3 at Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport in Ho Chi Minh City will officially begin operation on Thursday, April 17. This key project aims to reduce overcrowding at existing terminals while enhancing Ho Chi Minh City urban transport infrastructure. Construction is now complete, and in the check-in area, self-service kiosks and automatic baggage drop machines are undergoing continuous stability testing. The facility lighting system, flight information display, electronic boards, screening equipment, and elevators are being tested to ensure readiness for the upcoming holiday peak season. Terminal T3 features biometric technology and artificial intelligence (AI) to streamline the check-in process, improving efficiencies and passenger experience. Travelers can use either chip-based ID cards or VNeID electronic identifications for a fully automated check-in procedures. On Wednesday, more than 1.3 million Khmer people in the south celebrated the final day of the JINPING with their most sacred ritual, the bathing of the Buddha statue. This ritual symbolizes the purification of the soul, allowing participants to leave behind the old year's misfortunes and sorrow while opening their hearts to receive blessings in the new year. Following tradition, families prepare food trays at home to offer to the monks at temple. These offerings, following Theravada Buddhist customs, include soup, meat, and savory dishes. After the offering ceremony, the food is divided into small bowls and placed before the main hall as a tribute to the deceased. Flowers and other essential offerings are brought by many worshippers to the temple. Amid the vibrant pentatonic music and solemn atmosphere, Devotees excitedly visit the pagoda to pay respect to their grandparents and ancestors while praying for good fortune in the new year. Global integration has made it easier than ever for traditional craft villages to exchange knowledge and production expertise. At Phu Lang Pottery Village in Bắc Ninh, local artisans have spent over a year learning from and collaborating with Japanese masters. As a result, this 700-year-old village products have shown remarkable improvement.
For the first time, young artisans at Phu Lang Pottery Village in Bắc Ninh are working directly with craftsmen from Japan's Toho Pottery Village. Learning to shape small products represents a new skill for the villagers. The Japanese artisans see great potential for technical exchange, noting the similarities in innovation between the two villages.
Phu Lang Pottery Village is blessed with rich nature and diverse raw materials for pottery making. Therefore, I hope to collaborate with local artisans here to create new generation products for the pottery industry.
After the training sessions with Japanese artisans, Qing's workshop has undergone many changes. Instead of just making low-value items, she has started producing household pieces like bowls, dishes, and vases, areas where Japanese pottery excels. This has created new export opportunities for the traditional products of the village.
When the products were exhibited in Tokyo, Japan, they were highly praised by Japanese artisans, with great potential for export.
This transformation has created significant export opportunities. For example, tea sets with East Asian designs and vases featuring natural glazes are particularly popular in European markets.
Out of the 150 households in Phu Lang Pottery Village, 10 have already shifted to new production methods. Though this number is modest, it has inspired local people to adopt a new mindset toward enhancing their traditional products to meet modern demands.
Coming up next on VTV News, China top leader Xi Jinping visit Malaysia. And U.S. investigate tariff on critical mineral imports. Party General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping arrived in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday, beginning his state visit to Malaysia at the invitations of Malaysian King Sultan Ibrahim. This is Party General Secretary and President of China's second visit to Malaysia in 12 years. The two countries hope that the visit will further deepen their traditional bilateral friendship and strengthen mutual political trust. Previously, China top leader Xi Jinping made a two-day state visit to Vietnam, where two nations successfully signed 45 cooperation agreements spanning many areas such as infrastructure connectivity, AI, human resources training, border procedure simplification, digital economy, green economy, and social and culture sectors. China's economy shows strong growth in the first quarter of this year, according to data released on Wednesday by the country's National Bureau of Statistics. The results suggest that the recovery momentum remains solid despite increasing external headwinds. GDP reached around $4.3 trillion, a 5.4% increase year-on-year. Exports were a bright spot, rising 5.8% in US dollar terms for the quarter, including a sharp 12.4% jump in March, likely driven by a surge in orders ahead of potential tariffs. Domestic consumption also rose, boosted by stimulus measures, especially large-scale subsidies for new consumer goods. Retail sales grew by 4.6%, outpacing last year's figures. Meanwhile, China's real estate market is showing early signs of recovery, with home prices in top-tier cities rising each month, while yearly declines continue to narrow. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order on Tuesday calling for an investigation into the possibility of imposing tariff on all imports of critical minerals. A comprehensive review of the market dynamics related to critical minerals such as cobalt, nickel, 17 rare earth elements, uranium, and other elements deemed essential for national security by U.S. officials will be conducted. The order highlights the U.S. dependence on import and the vulnerability of supply chains, which have increased risk to national security, prosperity, and economic resilience. Currently, the U.S. only mines and processes minimal amounts of lithium, has no nickel refining plants, and lacks of both cobalt mines and processing facilities. A groundbreaking exhibition in London is harnessing cutting-edge technology to create an immersive visitor experience. Through virtual reality and advanced projection technology, the story of Pharaoh Tutankhamun and his gold-filled tombs comes alive. In the following story, we'll invite you to travel back in time with us to ancient Egypt.
Tutankhamun's funerary golden mask, the iconic symbol of the ancient Egyptian pharaoh, appears vividly before visitors' eyes. Equipped with video mapping technology, a 360-degree virtual reality experience, and an interactive digital metaverse space, the exhibition takes visitors on a virtual journey to ancient Egypt. Guests can walk through the Valley of the Kings and explore the base camp of British archaeologist Howard Carter.
The metaverse, where you can walk around freely in a room, be Howard Carter himself, be in his base camp, go through his notebook, listen to the music he was listening back in 1922 on the day he discovered the tomb himself, and then you go inside the Valley of the Kings and you are walking around in the tomb with a torch in your hand in this old digital world.
The exhibition, held at Excel London Centre in the UK, also features many artifacts, including replicas of Egyptian treasures and antiquities.
In other cities in Europe, in Germany, and in Austria, including in Egypt, because we had a very great success. And the most impressive thing I felt in these cities.
The 3,000-year-old tomb of Tutankhamun was discovered in the Valley of the Kings in 1922. It marked a major turning point in the field of archaeology. His coffin was found alongside thousands of treasures left untouched by grave robbers.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today. To rewatch your program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.